Stampeders, and of course a former Hall of Famer himself.
Now, Jay Barker is remaining in at quarterback for the Argos. We saw in Calgary a couple of weeks ago that Barker would only run the short yardage play, but the rookie out of Alabama, who had an impressive start to the season for the Argos, will remain in at quarterback for Toronto. Talked to his coach from college at Alabama, and the one thing they talk about at Alabama was the way he had people rally around him. And it really is something else when you think about it. A guy walks into the Canadian Football League in his first year and is able to produce right away.
Well, I think you saw that in the games that he played early in the season, and normal for a young quarterback to throw more interceptions than touchdowns, but as you said, his leadership abilities were certainly there.
Pinball up and over. Justin Ring wraps him up as he gets close to midfield, and another Toronto first down. And now Bell will come back into the game as Jay Barker leaves. So Don Matthews going into the bullpen here in the third quarter.
Well, I don't think there's any question. If you're going to have a quarterback run, I think you'd prefer to have it be Jay Barker than Kerwin Bell.
13 first downs to 5 favor the Argos, another telltale statistic. And it is a first down just across midfield. Back to the ground, Pinball. And wrapping him up and holding on for dear life was Calvin Tiggle, Pinball's former teammate here in Toronto. Tiggle, of course, was the Argo Rookie of the Year, and like Mike O'Shea, made the trip down the QEW, except he went a different direction going to Hamilton, and he's the cornerstone of that Ticat defense.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, in Toronto, they felt that he wasn't going to be the middle linebacker of the future. They turned him loose, and he's been nothing short of great with Hamilton the last couple of seasons.
A gain of 2 there will bring up second and long for the Argos. Just over 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. It's been all Toronto so far. Bell shovels it off underneath for Daryl Mitchell. A perfectly designed play, and it gets Toronto a first down. Montford was bearing down on Bell, who unloaded at the last second.
Well, they picked the right play against the right defense. 3-man front for Hamilton, and Mitchell's going to come from here. But all you need to do is get the block here, and look at the lane that Daryl Mitchell's going to have. The perfect call against the right defense. And there you see it. Jude St. John leading the way up on Justin Ring, and that is a well-executed shovel pass to Daryl Mitchell, and again, the right play.
Darrell K. Smith looking on in the background. The Argos' all-time leader in receiving yardage, thinking maybe Daryl Mitchell's on the road to catching him someday. Now Bell over the top for Mitchell. He's got the catch out of bounds at the 10. Perfect coverage by Gerald Vaughn, but an even better throw by Kerwin Bell. A gain of 34 yards.
Well, it was the perfect pass. He put lots of air time on this football. He knew Daryl Mitchell had Gerald Vaughn beaten. And watch this, he gets the initial separation. Perfect throw, good concentration. I mean, that's not bad coverage, but that's just a terrific throw by Kerwin Bell. And boy, is he on his game tonight. Again, good protection up front has been the story of the entire night for the Argonaut offensive line. And abused early in the year, this group has really rallied to have a solid game tonight.
A first down just outside the 10-yard line now for the Argos. Bell in the shotgun. Going for Pinball, working on Gerald Vaughn. He dives, touchdown as a flag comes down. The Pinball leaps to the end zone with a flag down, and the Argos with a chance to blow it open here if the penalty is against Hamilton. Still no indication from Jake Ireland. Face mask Hamilton. Count the touchdown, tack it on, and the Argos are off and rolling against the league's #1 team.
And again, as they so often...
Face mask. Hamilton, number 39, will by 15 yards on the kickoff.
40 right in. So the touchdown stands, and as they so often do against teams throughout the league, the crossing patterns tonight really have been the bread and butter when they've needed a play. The short patterns, watch this, Clemens, and Gerald Vaughn just simply can't stay with him. That's too much field. I'm not sure he was in the end zone, but they gave him the sympathy touchdown there, his second of the night.
Eric Pigos puts the point after up and good, just like old times for the Argos, who lead Hamilton 34-6. Well, you wouldn't know the Argos have been having trouble driving the ball or putting it in the end zone by tonight. 8 plays, 77 yards. Pinball Clemens caps it off with his second touchdown catch of the game. The Argos lead it by 28 points.
Yeah, I mean, things have just gone perfectly. A great game plan, good execution, and again, not to be overly repetitive, but the offensive line, to me, has been the key to this game.
Eric Vigo's kickoff taken by Ronald Williams at the 5-yard line. Williams trying to break through. Gets to about the 30. Donald Smith helps to bring him down there. Lots of time for the Ticats, but the problem is their #1 ranked defense hasn't been able to stop Toronto.
Yeah, and look at the effort up front by the offensive line, and just a huge lane. There's the face mask for Clemens. I'm not so sure he was in the end zone, but it doesn't matter. They give him the sympathy touchdown anyway. But here's the protection up front. Look at Dwayne Demetrician in the middle, picking up the blitz. Kerwin Bell knows he's probably going to take a bit of a hit, but is able to hang into the pocket and still get the touchdown.
On the 25-yard line, McManus standing in, can't find anyone open, so he delivers it to Archie Amerson. Clifton Abraham just stuck a fork at him and dropped him at the 30-yard line. A pickup of about 5 yards. Clifton Abraham has been impressive in his first year out of the University of Houston.
Well, I sure like the way he plays, and you know, as a rookie, the telltale story to me is, do they make mistakes? You know what? I have not seen him make a mistake in the 3 games that I broadcasted the Argonauts this year, and he's a sure tackler, and as a corner, boy, you sure want to have that when you're out there on that island by yourself.
Second down, McManus standing in. He's got Mike Morreale for a first down up to the 45-yard line. Now with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, McManus feeling the sense of urgency that he's got to get his team back in this football game.
Well, he really does. I mean, I'm not sure if this is, too insurmountable for him to attack, but Mike Morreale does his job. And, I look at Morreale, and the difference in him from a year ago is a year ago he only averaged about 10 yards a catch. Now he's up to 18.1. Well, he's not that fast. So what that tells me, he's getting a lot of yards after the catch, and what a great contribution you can make to your team when you do that.
Scored a 92-yard touchdown against Edmonton at Commonwealth Stadium. Now McManus back to Amerson. And Amerson again takes a hard shot, this time from Marcelo Simmons as he climbs up to the 51-yard line. Just back to Morreale for a moment. No less an authority than Russ Jackson, the Hamilton radio color commentator, was saying that he thinks Morreale could be the next great Canadian slot back in the CFL, along the lines of a Vince Danielson in Calgary or his predecessor, Dave Sapunjas.
Well, he's kind of like a Rocky DiPietro, same kind of speed. He's big, he's strong, he's well over 200 pounds, he's 6'3", and if I would describe him as anyone, I think it's more like a DiPietro.
McManus pump fake, trying to find someone open, almost intercepted again. Marcelo Simmons has been on the receiving end of several Danny McManus passes, only to have them go through his fingers.
Well, how many times has this happened tonight? Danny McManus just trying to get through the needle here, and that zone squeezes down so quickly between Maurice Miller and Marcelo Simmons. Really no place to throw, and Marcelo Simmons, he might have had a couple of picks tonight and been able to hang on.
Hamilton gambling now on 3rd and 4 from their own 50-yard line. Early movement, and it looked like the Ticats might have jumped early. Ron Lancaster is livid on the Hamilton sidelines.
Procedure. Hamilton number 57. Still 3rd down.
Ticats will have to punt, and Lancaster is storming up and down the sideline.
That's one of those ones you don't want to come off the field.
No, go to the room.
It's Val St. Germain, the left guard, and that is just a situation where you just would like to stay out there for a little while. I had that happen with Ronnie and I in one game where I ran the wrong pattern and an interception occurred. I didn't want to come off.
I wasn't going to tell that story at your last game. I was going to give you a break on that one.
I love that story.
Steve Smith takes the punt at the 30-yard line. Smith reverses his tracks, now trying to get around the corner. Look out, he does. And he's got a lot of room to run. Out across the 50. Smith still going. Up to midfield. A 35-yard punt and a 26-yard return by the electrifying rookie Steve Smith. So the Argos can even their record on the season to 4-4, and we remind you there's the number to call if you're looking for Toronto Argonaut tickets. So we got to finish the story about Lancaster. You didn't want to come off, and for the only time in his career, we're told, Ronnie threw his helmet, didn't he?
He threw it and then kicked it. because I missed an audible, and I was down blocking downfield or something, and he threw an interception. Well, yeah, blocking who? Anyway, it was a story it's a lot funnier now than it was 25 years ago.
Bell goes underneath the coverage to Andrew English. He breaks the tackle, and English gets down into Hamilton territory to the 47-yard line. The ball came loose, but he was down on the play. Kerwin Bell with a smile as big as all outdoors as everything is going Toronto's way.
Well, I mean, he's having a lot of fun. I mean, when you have the great numbers, and finally the monkey is off your back with regard to point production to go along with a good offensive night. But I mean, you've got to be happy with the way you play.
Second and short again. In comes Jay Barker, mentioning earlier that his college coach, Gene Stallings at the University of Alabama, told me a couple of weeks ago that when Jay Barker came to training camp as a freshman, no one thought he'd make the team, much less become Alabama's all-time leading passer. Second down and a couple for the Argos. Pinball is the lone man in the backfield with Jay Barker. Play fake. Barker's under pressure, and he'll run. Barker tap dances down the sidelines and almost got hit from behind, got run into the cart down there. A first down to the 36-yard line.
I like this play. I mean, Jay Barker is in there, and this is his opportunity to try and make something happen. That is a great fake. That's reminiscent of a Damon Allen type ball control fake, and he gets to the outside. Had an option to throw if he needed to, but certainly had enough yardage to pick up the first down safely.
Gets the job done, makes his way off the field for Kerwin Bell to go to work on first down from the Hamilton 36-yard line.
Hey, when things are going your way, everybody gets a chance to get in and have some fun.
100 minutes to go in the third quarter. Bell from the shotgun. Feeling the pressure, unloads it. Andrew English makes the catch. A flag comes down very late. Holding will be the call against Toronto. Funny, you know, we're seeing the Argos smiling and laughing on the field and strutting a little bit. One thing a lot of people noticed in their pregame practice yesterday, not quite as cocky the Argos were as they have been.
Toronto number 62, repeat first down.
In past years, the Argos pregame walkthrough was like a party.
Well, they don't have the same swagger because it's not the same team that won a Grey Cup. So, you know, they have to try, you know, they're going to work up to that swagger this year. And tonight's one of those nights that they're going to really enjoy.
Clock running under 30 seconds to go in the third quarter, and what a huge victory this would be for the Argos at home. Close to their season average already. Now Bell fakes it, goes back to Mike Clemens. The pinball is wrapped up quickly. Mike Philbrick got there, and there'll be no gain on the play. 9 seconds to go here in the third. Hey, Leaf, who's this?
Hey!
Now on the left, that's Allie Pedersen.
That's Allie.
On the middle, that's Katie, your older daughter. Those are your two daughters. That's their friend
Katie Bell.
Katie Bell.
They all ride together. They are having a ball down there. They are waving to me up here. There you go. My kids, they absolutely love coming down to Sky Dome. Pinball is their favorite player, and he scored a couple of touchdowns, so they'll go home happy tonight.
Well, they're taller than he is. Second down. Bell, all kinds of time. Oh, jeez. Off the helmet of Calvin Tiggle as Bell was gunning it down there for Dwayne Dimitrition. That'll bring an end to the third quarter. The Argos put up 2 touchdowns in that frame to take a 34-6 lead. There's a penalty at the end of the play, but we'll have the call for you when we come back for the fourth quarter.
You're watching CFL Live, and we're at the quarter. Here's your host, James Duthie.
Well, Hamilton, now you know how the Eskimos feel. The Argonauts doing to the Ticats what the Ticats did to Edmonton the past 2 weeks. And I tell you what a selection of weapons for Kerwin Bell. You got Clemens, you got Mitchell, and you have Nigel Williams.
Yeah, the big guy, Nigel, has certainly been outstanding, hasn't he? You know, I have tremendous respect for Jim Popp and the job he's done in both Baltimore and Montreal. But as I said several weeks ago, I was absolutely shocked when he traded Nigel Williams within the division for compensation next year. In my opinion, Don Matthews, a teacher, took his pupil Jim Popp to the woodshed on that trade. and it's a deal, Chris, that could come back and haunt Montreal big time before the end of the season.
Well, you know, you can almost see it right now, because what surprises me is the fact that right now the Toronto Argonaut receivers are getting great amounts in terms of separation from the defensive backs of the Hamilton Ticats, and some of the most talented people on that defense are the defensive backs. And this changes perception for Hamilton. There's going to be a reevaluation. They have the BC Lions at home, then they have the rematch Labor Day Classic, and Toronto's going to come in cocky. They have Montreal back-to-back. They'll kind of look at this, and it humbles them a little bit. We'll see how they're able to regroup, James.
And I tell you what, just a few weeks ago, it looked like the Argos had serious quarterbacking and kicking concerns. Now they have the #1 passer in the league in Kerwin Bell. They have a capable backup in Barker, and they have a great 1-2 kicking combination in Noel Prefontaine and Eric Bigos. Now let's take you back to Skydome for Leafs last quarter. Go, guys.
An angry Joe Montford stalks the sidelines. The reason from David Amber.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. The leading guy who has 3 sacks today, one of the only players doing anything on defense for Hamilton, is going to be sitting out the rest of the game. Don Sutherland and him just had it out. Joe Montford will be sitting. Gonzalo Floyd's going to end up on the rush end position. Big blow up on the sidelines. This looks like a team self-destructing. Back to you guys.
All right, Don Sutherland isn't old school. He's from the school they tore down to build the old school.
That's right. Joe Montford's a pretty intense guy, and if he doesn't feel like the proper things are happening, he's very, very vocal, and sometimes maybe a little too vocal. And Don Sutherland obviously has taken objection to something that he has done.
Noel Prefontaine is into punt for Toronto on 3rd down. Hoping to hem the Ticats in deep. A low kick that bounces down around the 20-yard line. Picked up there by Orlando Steinauer, who's tripped up at the 23 by John Raposo. A 5-yard return of a 32-yard punt. The numbers through 3 quarters are as lopsided as this 34-6 football game. 17-6 the count in first downs. 388 net yards for the Argos, just 128 for Hamilton. 2 turnovers by the Ticats. Both have been interceptions.
Look at the discrepancy in time of possession, though. I mean, that is a lot of time in 3 quarters. 12 minutes advantage for Toronto. Just really tells you not only how effective Toronto's been offensively with their production tonight, but how long Hamilton's defense has been on the field, and they've kind of wilted, giving up 34 points.
McManus in the shotgun on 1st down. Out of the backfield for Archie Amerson. Amerson does a nice job of making the first man, Kelly Wiltshire, miss and dive out to the 27-yard line.
And Gord, you really know as we enter the 4th quarter that Toronto on defense is not going to gamble. They're going to continue to do a terrific job in the secondary, squeezing down the lanes. And, you know, they've talked on the sidelines, don't let anybody get in behind you, keep everybody in front of you. And it's going to be difficult for McManus to try and bring his team back here in the 4th quarter.
McManus fighting Darren Flutie. Flutie off and running across the 40 to the 43, and a 1st down for Hamilton as McManus and Flutie, the dynamic duo for Hamilton, hook up on a rare occasion tonight.
And you know, to Danny McManus's credit, he's going to have to stay to these underneath type patterns as he just completed to Darren Flutie, and hope that he can have enough success on offense and just not run out of time.
Just 4 catches for Flutie in the football game, but that one nets a 1st down. Now McManus out of the backfield for Ronald Williams. And Williams dives out to the 47-yard line for a gain of 5.
You know, and talking about running out of time, Danny McManus recognizes that, and although 13:22 to go, he has gone to the hurry-up offense to try and salvage and keep as much time for his offense that he can here in the 4th quarter.
And a flag comes down very late in the play, 2, in fact.
Objectionable conduct. Hamilton, number 24. 2nd down.
Ronald Williams, the receiver, is called for objectionable conduct. Dan Pronick will come into the game as Ronald Williams is brought off.
Well, let's see the end of this one. Wilshire with a shot in there, and I don't know.
Nope, threw the ball at him. Got a soft toss the ball at him. So Williams comes out of the game, and it's 2nd down and 15. McManus, all kinds of time, slings it there for Moriali. And now Moriali, trying to fight to that 1st down marker, is brought down across the 50 at about the 52-yard line. That will leave Hamilton a couple of yards short on 3rd down. Lancaster showed he would gamble earlier, and you'd have to think he will here again.
I don't think there's any question here. If he went on 3rd and 5 in the 3rd quarter, he's going to do it here.
12 and a half minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. McManus for Morreale, who's got the catch and the first down, gets his legs cut out by Donald Smith, and Morreale comes up hot at Donald Smith, two ex-teammates here in Toronto. Morreale, of course, the cousin of Toronto receiver Paul Mazzotti.
Some serious bragging rights on the line tonight between these two. I like Mazzotti's chances.
At 34-6, you have to like it. And of course, these two teams will meet again 2 weeks' time in Hamilton in the Labor Day Classic. They're talking about a potential sellout at Ivor Wynne Stadium for
Would
that
be something?
First down just across midfield. McManus bobbles the snap. Now under pressure. Fires it down there for Amerson and gets down to the 49-yard line. A gain of 5 and a lucky 5 for Hamilton, as that play was a jailbreak from the word go.
It really was. But to McManus's credit, you know, he's always so unflappable, and you know, any situation is not too difficult for him to overcome. And again, he does that this one, and seems like this play is going nowhere, and all of a sudden he's able to find a receiver open.
Ticats in the hurry-up offense. The pass through the hands of the intended target, Andrew Gregg, and incomplete. You know, we talked about the similarities between Danny McManus and Ron Lancaster. One of them that a lot of people talk about is the supreme confidence McManus has in his accuracy. The belief he can throw the ball anywhere. You played with Ron Lancaster. He was like that too.
Well, Ronnie was a little different. He didn't have a rifle for an arm. He threw it early into spots and expected his receivers to be there. I think you've seen an example of McManus and the confidence in his arm tonight, because he really has tried to thread the needle a few times when he probably shouldn't have.
Ticats gambling again on third down. McManus sets up the screen pass for Archie Amerson, and he won't get there. Brought down at the 45-yard line. He'll be a good 2 yards short. Hamilton turns it over on downs as Michael O'Shea makes the stop, and the Toronto offense takes the field as Ron Lancaster's gamble fails. The Argos, looking to even their record at 500, are in the driver's seat against the Ticats. Argos enjoying their biggest crowd of the season and their biggest lead of the year. There's the number you can call for tickets in the Toronto area. And once again, our thanks to the Argos for lifting the blackout, not just on this game, but all of TSN's games for the remainder of the year in Toronto.
Yeah, and in doing so tonight, they had a great crowd, and the people locally in Toronto that got to see this game certainly have seen a pretty darn good performance by the Argonauts, and maybe that'll encourage them to come down and see it live. Nothing like live.
Hamilton fans will be asking for the next Ticat Argo game to be blacked out. Well, we see the throw underneath to Daryl Mitchell again. The stop is made, and Joe Montfort is not on the field. And we saw this exchange a moment ago between the Ticat defensive coordinator and his star rush in.
Well, that was actually the second exchange. They had one, and Montfort went, sat down, and he said, no, you know what, I'm not finished. I forgot to tell him something.
Remember Don Southern telling me he had a father and son talk with one of his players. I said, how did it go? He said, father won. No gain for Mitchell. It's second down for the Argos from their own 45-yard line. Bell has all day. Look at him. And finds Paul Mazzotti across midfield and down to the Hamilton 49-yard line. Orlando Steinauer makes the stop. Kerwin Bell could have stopped for a sandwich back there.
Well, we've given a lot of credit to the offensive line for the Argonauts tonight, and I'm sure when they watch the film session tomorrow, it's only a three-man rush, often the toughest rush to block against for some reason, but Bell had all kinds of time, perfect pocket, about 6, 7, 8 seconds to throw and complete that pass to Mazzotti, but the offensive line, along with Dwayne Demetrician, who's picked up the blitz, have had just a superlative evening.
And remember, the heart and soul of that offensive line, Mike Kiselak, left in the offseason. The give goes to Mike Clemens, and he has his legs cut out from under him by Gonzalo Floyd, and pinball appears to be shaken up.
Yeah, that was a hit that he wasn't expecting. That hole opened up so nicely that I'm sure he thought he was into the secondary, and Floyd came from nowhere, and when you're not expecting it, those are the ones that hurt.
Gain of a yard for the pinball, and the Argos have been trying this year to keep Mike Clemens off special teams to save his body the wear and tear and the pounding that it's been taken. Clemens keeps the smile, but he says his nickname has been Mike Slightly Shaken Up Clemens this year. Bell from the shotgun again, a perfect dart, but Daryl Mitchell wasn't looking. Derek Greer was there on the coverage. The pass falls incomplete and will bring up third down.
Well, you know, you talked about Clemens and trying to ease his workload on special teams. You know, coming into this game, he had 75 carries. Last year, he only had 50. So, I mean, his role with this club has changed. Daryl Mitchell's going to be the big play receiver. That's evident that the amount of receptions he has so far in 8 weeks. And Mike Clemens doesn't have the same amount of receptions he had a year ago, but he's having to run the football more. So this team has changed, and you know, looks like they're going to come through a lot of changes and end up at the 500 mark after 8 weeks, and that's not bad, considering Kerwin Bell didn't begin the season.
And considering, too, that their 4 losses this year have been by a total of 19 points. Prefontaine with a good punt bounces down into the end zone where Bobby Olive will chase after it and give up the single point. That gets the Argos to 35. Prefontaine